order at 7:35 p.m., Wednesday, September 21st.
Councilwoman Selby,
Present.
Councilman Tarantini,
Present.
Supervisor Keating,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin.
Not present.
Thank you. Councilman Tarantini, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this evening we do not have any other preliminary matters, so we'll move on to regular business. Item number 1 under the regular business tonight is the correction and adoption of the minutes from the September 7th, 2022 board meeting. And Councilman Tarantini, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. I've reviewed the minutes from our meeting dated September 7, 2022, and I make a motion that we approve as written.
A second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Tarantini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, item number 2 under regular business tonight is the consideration of all of the fund bills. And Councilwoman Lukacek, would you like to take that item tonight?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. Hold on 1 second.
Take that.
I'm organizing. Okay. After review of the abstract number 1 journal entries and payables, I make a motion that we approve the expenses and payables for $81,922.44. I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Tarantini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 3 tonight is our correspondence. There's 3 items. They've all been received and filed with the town clerk's office. Item number 1 is the town clerk's report for August 2022. Item number 2 is the Erie Community Development Block Grant Program, or CDBG, Rural Transit Service Advisory Board draft minutes from the September 13th, 2022 meeting. That's also been received and filed. And item 3 is the August 2022 income statement. And all those items, again, have been received and filed with the town clerk's office. Moving on to new business, item number 4 tonight under our agenda, request from the floor is our first item. If anyone would like to come up to the microphone, please state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes each. Floor is open.
Shane Quinlan of 6700 Liebler Road. It's my 3rd time to talk about garbage here. This is an example of what my mom takes down every week. It used to cost her $4. There's no way she's wheeling a 96-gallon tote or a 64-gallon tote down 1,500-foot road, a service road, gravel road, to take this little bag down to the end of the road. I have met with Waste Management twice now. There's been a councilwoman out to my road before garbage started. There was a councilman with the town attorney there. I met with a manager, and then last Wednesday, a route manager and the other manager, and today they canceled on me, which, you know, maybe they had a good reason, but I'm a little tired if I have to hire out a service that works for me and my mom and dad. That $4 goes to $5 already, and go to $10 for one little bag. It's like I talked about in the very first meeting, 3 meetings ago, provisions had to be put into this. There are 10 spots in this town that are far more precarious than a little flat 1,100-foot road. There's 8 paying customers. I already know what they do for the 14 customers on Bellevue. They pull in, service 7 residents on the right, they back all the way out, turn around in a private driveway, back all the way in, service the other 7 when they pull out. You know how much time that takes? So time is not an excuse for coming in. The width of the road is not, that has been resolved. Bottleneck has been rectified. The height of the wires, there's a spot on, 3 spots on West Hillcroft, the wires are barely 14 foot. Wires are not an option, not a problem. The turnaround is plenty wide. Both managers said that themselves when they stood there. The turnaround on Hillcrest is tight, nose down, far more difficult. That hard left bank pulling up. Chestnut Ridge Road, about 120 degrees of steep incline, far more difficult with a tandem axle vehicle than our road. So there is no more excuses. We got to put a little pressure on it, get this done for us, so I don't have to fire out my garbage for the rest of the year. And you'll hear more from me over and over. Thank you.
Russ Goldberg, who lives on the aforementioned Hillcrest Drive. Clearly, the garbage totes are an issue. Once again, we have a 1,400-some foot driveway. It is my hope that as the meeting proceeds, you'll give us some idea of what the economic development, the county economic development meeting went like earlier this month. And also like you to consider the fact that the totes are an indication that the town of Boston is becoming a residential suburb rather than a rural town. And perhaps planning to pave roads, extend services, look forward toward a sewage system, etc., would be advisable as part of the ongoing process of the town's function. Question of possibility, for cases where there are a number of people back on a gravel road, would it be possible to make some sort of a shed arrangement or a group arrangement where the totes could stay out on a paved road where the garbage trucks could reach them easily? And people, once again, could bring a bag up as they might have done previously with a garbage can. The obvious difficulty with the totes is you can't fit them in a car. Just a possible suggestion, possibly something might be done on the dead end roads that would make it more convenient. By the way, given the fact that the garbage trucks had to pull around in funny ways to pick up the totes, I want to thank the town clerk. We have our garbage picked up on Thursdays, and I had called to find out where exactly it should be positioned to make it possible for the automatic grabbers to get it. 5 o'clock on Wednesday came along, and I hadn't heard anything, and I said, oh well. 10 minutes after 5, I got a call that told me where I could appropriately leave the totes so the garbage truck would be able to pick it up. I just wanted to compliment her on taking that extra time to make sure that we could deal with that effectively. Okay, thank you very much. Incidentally, the code enforcement officer is not returning his call. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Mitch Tucker. I live at Parkside Drive in North Boston. For the town, I chair the Conservation Advisory Council, and today I wanted to share a couple updates from the CAC to the board, as well as to the members of the community here in Boston. Recently, on Saturday, September 10th, our annual local environmental awareness fair, or LEAF event, returned for its 4th year just right outside at the Boston Town Parks Line Shelter from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Spearheaded by the Town of Boston Conservation Advisory Council with support from the Friends of the CAC, LEAF exists to educate the greater community on conservation, wildlife, and the environment, both local and more widespread. It's a great opportunity for local organizations to highlight the many people, organizations, and features for our local environment and make our community here in Boston and in Western New York a wonderful place to live. In 2022, we were joined by a total of 14 organizations, from local craft vendors and business owners to regional nonprofit organizations and county and federal departments, including the Beaver Meadow Audubon Center, Buck Hill Rabbitry, Cornell Cooperative Extension, Erie County, the Erie County Department of Environmental and Planning, Earth Spirit, the Iroquois National Wildlife Refuge with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, KCY Reptiles, Sierra Club of the Niagara Group, Trinity Poor, Native Earth Nursery, Wild Spirit Education, Spencer's Encounters, Boy Scout Troop 491, and the Boston Democratic Social Club. These organizations provided educational opportunities related to wildlife conservation, a healthy lawns program, keeping show rabbits, energy smart practices, soil pH testing, spotted lanternfly awareness and other invasive species, native plants, raptor rehabilitation, and more. The Beauty of Boston photo contest returned this year with the theme of nature's colors. 14 residents submitted entries and the public voted for their favorites during the event. The top 3 winners will receive gift certificates to the Boston Hill Nursery. We estimated more than 150 people participated in the event, from patrons to vendors and volunteers that made it happen. I want to give special notice to the other CAC members that made the LEAF and our other events possible: Pam Zielinski, Sharon Stewart, and Caitlin Tucker. Additionally, the LEAF would not have been possible without the assistance of Jay Jackson and Boy Scout Troop 491. Since August of 1971, the CAC has served the town of Boston to preserve and improve the quality of the nature as well as the man-made environment within our town. To that end, the CAC puts on events that encourage our residents to engage and appreciate our local environment. In addition to the LEAF, we also run the Winter Snowshoe and Snowman event and the Mother's Day Fishing Derby. Additional duties of the CAC are to conduct studies, surveys, and inventories of our local environment. And on that, we've recently partnered with local organizations such as the Western New York Prison to map invasive species in our town park and to provide management recommendations. Lastly, we serve the town to advise the town board on matters affecting preservation, development, and use of our local land for the betterment of the long-term value of all of the people of the great town of Boston. To that end, we recently engaged with the UB Regional Institute to capitalize on state resources that are available for the town to help preserve and improve our local environment, specifically through the Climate Smart Communities Program of the state of New York. In short, the Climate Smart Communities Program provides a framework for the town of Boston to document many of the great things we have already done over the past few years, as well as endeavors we are already completing for other programs such as the Clean Energy Communities or ideas that may come out of the comprehensive plan. By participating in the Climate Smart Communities Program, the town of Boston can be a leader in our regional community within Erie County, provide 50-50 matching funding from the state for projects we may already have interest in or even have plans to complete, such as grants for EV charging for electric vehicle charging stations, and allow us to be more competitive and successful in receiving other grant opportunities. As the town board knows, the first step to becoming a climate smart community is for the town board to pass a formal resolution to join the program. The CAC has provided one draft of a resolution for the town board to adopt, and while the language of this first draft of the resolution may not have been fully agreeable to all members of the town board, a revised version was drafted with input from board discussion by Council Costello. The CAC appreciates the work of the town board, Supervising Keating and Council Costello, on these discussions, but we were disappointed to see or hear no further discussion on the drafts, nor engagement with the Conservation Advisory Council. The attendance at this year's LEAF event was a significant increase from 2021, and we did not even have any Little League football games occurring, bringing in tangential foot traffic. This was a great demonstration of the increased interest of our local community in these environmental topics. I do feel it was a missed opportunity for our town council to interact with some of these organizations, as well as our residents, to discuss some of the future projects that we may be able to accomplish to further improve and conserve the beauty of Boston and see firsthand the interests that our community has. Lastly, I would like to make sure that all board members know that you are personally invited to attend the next meeting of the CAC, which will be Tuesday, October 4th at 7 p.m., where we may have further discussion on the Climate Smart Communities Program and for the benefits that this program will have for the town of Boston itself and all of its residents. If any board members are unable to attend due to schedule conflicts, I would be additionally more than happy to meet at a mutual convenience to further this discussion. Thank you, and with all due respect, Dr. Lynch Tucker.
All right, with no other comment, I will close the floor. All right, moving on along with new business. Item number 2 is our public hearing for 2022 local law, intro number 1, a local law providing for waiver of site plan review for certain minor projects There's another second public hearing, 2022, local law intro number 2, a local law eliminating zoning provisions requiring a town board approval to erect more than one accessory building per lot. And Councilwoman Lukacek, you can take over, please.
Okay, so the notice of public hearing for local law intro number 1 shall be held on, by the town board of the town of Boston on September 21st, 2022 at 7:30 at Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, to hear any and all persons either for or against 2022 local law intro number 1 entitled "A Local Law Providing for Waiver of Site Plan Review for Certain Minor Projects." This local law provides a mechanism for the waiver of formal site plan review and its attendant costs and delays for certain minor projects where formal site plan review is not practical or necessary to ensure safe and orderly development. Copies of the proposed law, sponsored by myself, Councilmember Lukacek, are on the file in the town clerk's office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This was dated August 17th, 2022, published August 26th, 2022 by order of the town board, Sandra L. Quinlan, town clerk. Okay, notice of public hearing for local law number 2. A public hearing shall be held by the town board of the town of Boston on September 21st, 2022 at 7:30 at Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, to hear any and all persons either for or against the 2022 local law intro number 2 entitled "A Local Law Eliminating Zoning Provisions Requiring Town Board Approval to Erect More Than One Accessory Building per Lot." This local law eliminates zoning law provisions requiring town board approval to erect more than one accessory building per lot, as other existing town code provisions adequately regulate accessory structures. Copies of the proposed law, sponsored by myself, Councilmember Lukacek, are on file in the town clerk's office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This was also dated August 17, 2022, and published August 26, 2022 by order of the town board, Sandra L. Quinlan, town clerk.
Okay, the floor is open. Anyone would like to comment on either of those items?
Could I request a reading of the law?
I respectfully say no, it is 4
Okay.
pages.
4 pages long,
It
okay.
is four full pages.
Mr. Goldberg, did you have questions on either of those?
I'll ask a question and make it happen.
Mr. Supervisor, these hearings should be kept separate, so the hearing should be
So-
open for the first
Okay.
one they closed, and then open for the second one they closed.
Okay, so local law number 1 is open for the providing for waiver of a site plan review for certain minor projects.
Russell Goldberg, Hillcrest Avenue. I hold myself accountable for not having read ahead to find out what the law was. I find it commendable that you are reducing regulation on development, since I was seeing exactly the opposite performance in other activities of the zoning board and the town council. So, congratulations.
Okay, with no further comment, we'll close the floor. Moving on. Go ahead.
For the public hearing for local law number 2, eliminating zoning provisions requiring town board approval to erect more than one accessory building per lot.
Floor is open.
Ditto.
Yeah.
No comment? Floor is now closed.
Okay, so these are just generally to streamline what we've seen via planning board and zoning board when folks come in. The minor ones, it didn't make sense. So we were trying to, the code committee is number of people that represent the zoning board, the planning board, the town board, our council, our planning consultant, So there are multiple people involved in trying to vet this and understand why it was written the way it was written. And then these public hearings are to hear from the public's point of view if we may have missed something. So I was kind of hoping I'd hear if we may have missed something, but, okay. So I will begin with the resolution number 2022-63 with your concurrence.
Yep, so so that would be item number 4 under new business tonight on the agenda.
Okay. And sir, the local laws are placed on the public notice, and they will be in the minutes when they get approved.
Okay. I seem to recall that the laws were published, or the proposed laws were published in local papers as well.
Yes.
Heretofore. These were published?
As part of the public hearing notice.
Okay.
So I propose that resolution number 2022-63, the seeker review for the 2022 local law intro number 1, titled "A Local Law Providing for Waiver of Site Plan Review for Certain Projects." Obviously, this goes through the seeker. This determination is based on the following facts and conclusions. Adoption of local law will not result in any direct action or physical change to the environment. Any changes to the environment that may occur from adoption of the local law will be indirect and result from future undertakings that would be permitted by the local law. The adoption of the local law does not include any proposal to undertake such activities at this time. I make a motion that we approve the resolution number 2022-63 for the seeker review for 2022 local law intro number 1.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Curtis,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukaszek.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
Item 5 is resolution 2022-64, adoption by the Boston Town Board of the Town of Boston 2022 local law number 1. Councilwoman Lukaszek.
Okay, hearing no denial agreements or requests for changes, I make a resolution number 2022-64 to be approved by the town board for the, local law approving for waiver of site plan review for certain minor projects. I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Curtis,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukaszek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 6 is resolution 2022-65, which the seeker is an acronym for State Environmental Quality Review Act. Review for the 2022 local law intro number 2, titled "A Local Law Eliminating Zoning Provisions Requiring a Town Board Approval to Erect More Than One Accessory Building Per Lot." Councilwoman Lukaszek.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So, this is to erect more than one accessory per building per lot. There are multiple areas in our code that do pertain to this, and we didn't want to overlap things. So we try to make it more streamlined was the idea here. So this is eliminate the requirement that no more than one accessory building shall be constructed on a lot except when authorized by the town board. And the town already has zoning code provisions limiting the total percent of lot coverage in all zoning districts. And in residential districts, there are regulations on the percent of rear yard occupation by roof projections and accessory structures, separation of accessory buildings from lot lines and other buildings, and maximum accessory use square footage. And there is a lot more that goes into it, so we wanted to make sure that people understood what this meant. But this part is for the seeker review. I make a motion that we approve the resolution number 2022-65.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Curtis,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukaszek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item 7 is resolution 2022-66, adoption by the Boston Town Board of the Town of Boston 2022 local law number 2. And Councilwoman Lukaszek.
Okay, resolution number 2022-66, I make a motion we approve the local law eliminating zoning provisions requiring town board approval to erect more than one accessory building per lot.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
Item number 8 under new business tonight is Resolution 2022-67 for brush pile disposal. And Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-67, whereas there is a large pile of brush and vegetation debris that is accumulated in the area of the Highway Department barn. And we have went out and got 3 quotes, and we would like to award the low quote of $15,000 submitted by Tree Care of New York to dispose of the pile of brush and debris. And I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes,
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 9, we're going to schedule a public hearing this time. Item number 9 is schedule a public hearing for the Federal Community Development Grant. And Councilman Karakini, would you like to take that item?
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. We're going to schedule a public hearing for October 5th, 2022 for the Federal Community Development Grant. Notice of public hearing, notice to the citizens of the town of Boston. A public hearing will be held on October 5th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. at the Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, regarding the use of federal community development funds in the town of Boston. The town of Boston is eligible for a federal community development grant under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended. The purpose of the hearing is to provide an opportunity for citizens to express community development and housing needs and to discuss possible projects which would benefit low and moderate income persons in the town of Boston. Citizens are urged to attend this meeting to make known their views and/or written proposals on the town of Boston's selection of potential projects to be submitted for possible funding by the Federal Community Development Grant Program. The hearing will also present a review of prior community development projects and expenditures and a discussion of eligible activities. The meeting room is wheelchair accessible. Those needing special arrangements should call the Boston Town Hall at 716-941-6113 by October 3rd. Dated September 21st, 2022, published September 23rd, 2022, by order of the Town Board, Sandra L. Quinlan, Town Clerk. This institution is an equal opportunity provider and employer. I make a motion that we schedule the public hearing.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
yes,
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 10 is approval for Jordan Lewis to begin duty as North Boston Volunteer Firefighter Company firefighter, And Councilman Karakini, would you like to take that item?
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. We received a letter of approving a new member, Jordan Lewis, to begin service with the North Boston Volunteer Fire Company. And he has passed all of his background checks and does not violate paragraph 4 of the fire contract with the town of Boston. I'd like to make a motion to welcome Jordan Lewis to begin active duty with the North Boston Fire Company.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
yes,
Motion carried.
Item number 11 is application for use of meeting facility for the Boston Patriots football and cheerleading. And Councilwoman Lukacek, would you like to take that item?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, thank you. Boston Patriots football and cheerleading, Holly Belchin is for fundraising, the fundraising chair, and she is requesting date September 22nd, that's tomorrow, 4 to 8, for picture day at the Town Hall Community Room out the kitchen. I'm assuming that is available.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, and make a motion we approve.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes,
Motion carried.
Item number 12 is an application for use of meeting facility for the Conservation Advisory Council. And Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have an application for use of facilities from Dr. Mitch Tucker from Parkside Drive, requesting October 4th, November 1st, and December 6th from 6 to 9 for committee and council meeting. He's using the planning board meeting room, and I'd like to approve this application for use of town meeting facility.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes?
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, and item 13 under new business tonight is another application for use of meeting facility for the early elementary Southtowns homeschoolers. Councilman Karakini, would you like to take that item?
Thank you Supervisor Keating. We have an application for use of town meeting facility by the early elementary Southtowns homeschoolers. Amanda Kessler is the coordinator, and they are requesting the town hall community room without kitchen. Town Clerk Quinlan, are the dates that she's requested available?
Yes, they are.
Therefore, I make a motion that we approve this application of use of town meeting facility.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes?
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, we do not have any other old business tonight, so we move on to reports and presentations. Highway Superintendent, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Fall brush pickup, last one of the year, starts in October 3rd, will be Monday. So get your brush out early, we'll pick up every road one time in October. So, and another thing, anybody who lives on a town road and would like their ditch cleaned out, we'd be glad to do it, just give us a call, and that's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman Selby, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'd like to thank Dr. Tucker for coming out tonight and sharing the update from the CAC. You guys do a great job. We appreciate all the work and all the members for their contributions. We certainly are energy efficient here at the town of Boston with our LED lights, and I personally have solar panels on my house, so I'm all about being energy efficient. The resolution, where we looked at it, we saw a lot of regulations, and I'm sure Councilman Kichi will speak to it as well. We feel like we're doing everything we can to be energy efficient, and we're not really sure if Boston is the town to be in that position to have over government regulation on some of the stipulations. That's what we talked about. I'm sure Mike can attest to our conversations, but I mean, we appreciate what you guys do. We support you 100%, but we're not sure this is the right fit for the town of Boston at this point. So we'd be happy to discuss it further with you, and certainly would be interested in seeing more about your program and dots of, all the programs you do. We do appreciate your work. So besides that, I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilman Karakini, you have the floor.
Thank you Supervisor Keating. I'd like to thank the volunteer fire companies and certainly our town bookkeeper, Ellie and Jason. We've been in ongoing meetings and negotiations on the fire contract. And the spirit of those meetings has been very positive. It's been very productive, and there are a lot of things being discussed that probably weren't historically discussed. And I guess we can probably attribute that to having a good working relationship, which in anything is important. So I just want to take a moment and let everybody know that we're in the process of finalizing all that, and that'll all be available for review. But I know that there's a lot of work on the volunteer community to put together all the information that's necessary to even have a meaningful discussion. I would also like to thank Dr. Tucker for attending all the hard work you guys do with the Leaf Festival. Sorry I couldn't make it, but I know it was well attended. I know there's a lot of work that goes into anything like that, so I wanted to take a moment to thank you for that. And I'd be happy to discuss the resolution that was put forward. The issue I have with it, to be straight up, is I'm never going to support anything that's going to increase the regulation on the town. And when you formalize a resolution like that with the state, you give them oversight into your business. I'm not a fan of government regulations as a rule. And a lot of the things in that resolution, we're already doing. I don't see any benefit to formalize it with the state, which now gives them, the ability to peek over our shoulders. And I know that they dangle grant money in front of you to try to get you to comply with that. But the downside of that is you back yourself into a corner where you have people that are gonna need to, monitor and, measure all the emissions and things like that. It's great in theory, but in reality, it creates more work for the people that are already, in this organization. And there's really no funding mechanism for that. You look at the regulations that would be imposed upon the highway department alone. Those guys are lightly staffed to begin with, and if we add more workload to them, I don't see the benefit of it. But I'm open to having a conversation with you about it. I have very strong feelings, and you should probably, understand that, like I'm sure you do. But I hope we can, have a good discussion on it. I'm not going to be able to make the October 4th meeting, so I would like, if you would stay after, let's figure out something that works for both of us, and let's talk about it. That's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman Lubichek, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Just want to take a moment to congratulate Jordan Lewis on joining the North Boston Fire Company. That means a lot to the residents. I know it involves a heck of a lot of training drills. So thank you very much to him, and congratulations. Want to note that there is going to be no code committee meeting in October. And appreciate your coming to the floor, introduce the CAC, what it's about. That'll all go into the minutes so the residents would be able to hear, and maybe you'd get some more interested members, right? You never know. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. The blood drive from September 6th collected 17 units of blood, which helped save the lives of 51 local patients. The next Connect Life blood drive will be October 4th, right here at the Town Hall. If anyone is interested in signing up to donate blood, you can do that directly through the Connect Life website, or by calling Barbara Moore at 716-912-2100. The hunting license sales have gone over very well this year, which is great to see. After coming out of COVID, we have a lot more participation here with the hunters. And so far, since August 1st, we've sold over 220 hunting licenses. There is a free fishing day this coming Saturday, September 24th. So anyone that is 16 years and over, if you do not have a fishing license, you can fish on that day without one. So the DVC had put that out as one of the days. The next one after that will be Veterans Day, November 11th. Also on that day, Saturday, September 24th, there is a free rabies clinic offered through Erie County Department of Health. That is in a Cheektowaga location, and there's also another one on October 8th in Buffalo. For either one of those, both of those, you can register for that through the Erie County Department of Health, 716-961-6800. And this is for rabies vaccinations for cats, dogs, and ferrets. Just some nice fall things that are going on here in town. The Red Barrel Cider Mill is open starting Friday this week through Sunday, October 30th. Monaco will have their corn maze open, and also Back Barn Antiques this coming Saturday and Sunday. They will be having a sale there. And I think I saw the Boston Fire Company sign was out for the barbecue. So that is Saturday, October 1st.
Second, I think. Right? I think it's the second.
I think it's the 1st.
Oh, you are correct, yes.
October
First.
1st. Okay. That is all I have, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Mr. Goldberg, to answer your question, I'll start off, since you have some questions for the town board. So Erie County Environmental Planning hosted or put on the CDBG or Community Development Block Grant meeting on the 12th. I was actually, between myself and a representative from Erie County Environmental Planning, we're the only two. There's a person from Concord that did show up. The town of Boston is part of a consortium that goes all across Erie County. With that being said, the town of Boston, that census group, which is determined based off of HUD guidelines, is up, down, or I should say down by Meadow. So the water lines that you might have seen replaced this year, part of that was funded through Community Development Block Grant funds. Part of the structure that is the structure that's going in down Meadow Drive Park, the new pavilion that's down there, that was also Community Development Block Grant funds. And again, it only applies to that area, and that's, I guess I'll say, one of the reasons that Erie County Environmental Planning does the outreach to the public. Because say for an example, if you attended that meeting and you had an idea for the community, we're trying to find a way to educate the public to let them know that while these census block groups exist, some of the ideas or opportunities for the community are only specific to that area, not, let's say, down in, as I refer to as Boston proper, or the hamlet of Boston, or the hamlet of Patchen. So again, all of that is based off of the census determined by HUD. There's some great conversation there. There's some good ideas, but again, predominantly, I also sit on, like I said, that committee. It's sidewalks, which Boston, we don't have any sidewalks. Buildings, senior centers, there's new heating and ventilation, HVAC, air conditioning and heating that was put in. That was a CDBG or Community Development Block Grant CV coronavirus funds. So that paid for the upgrades to our heating and cooling system in our community room. So those are the types of things we discuss. A big player that we always put as a #1 priority is a rural transit van. And the ridership for that program has grown exponentially since the pandemic. It's a great program. The group is always looking for volunteers, so I guess I'll say here's my public service announcement and outreach. If anyone's looking to volunteer for rural transit, they're always looking for volunteers. We do have the van here. It's again, great organization, but that all kind of encompasses that program. I do have the pamphlet of information. If you're interested, I'd be happy to get that over to you. I can either email it if you'd like, or if you'd like a hard copy, I can print that off for you. So that was the discussion that happened there for you. You brought up sewage systems. I guess I don't know if I completely understood, but if I did understand correctly, it sounded like you're looking for build-out of sewer. Is that a true statement? Okay.
Again, just as your population density increases,
Yes.
that becomes an issue.
Correct. So sewer systems, that is determined by Erie County Sewer District number 3. They have their own, here we go again, a district, but that is the overlay that they would look at expanding. For residents that maybe listen to the meeting tonight or want to call my office, if there's a group or an area that residents want sewer that are not served currently, then they would reach out to the sewer board, if you will, kind of petition the board to look at that type of build out for the district and identify the associated connection fees and build out fees, et cetera. That would be part of that district.
Is NFTA also a part of this?
NFTA is another facet of, I got to chalk it up to government. NFTA, I touched base a little bit on this a couple of meetings ago. NFTA does serve our community. I use this term, at least in today's present day time, serve lightly. Sadly, NFTA did remove the bus line from our community due to lack of ridership. We've tried to get them to go back and bring back that program, and they said that they have many months of data where there's either no ridership or 1 to 2, maybe a month. The world we're currently living in due to between labor, the hurdles that we're all faced with. Labor.
I was afraid that might have been just COVID that eliminated it, because I know there were several people in Boston who could work in downtown Buffalo because there was an early and late bus.
Yes, it's a challenge. I won't. Yes, that's a problem. We've tried. That's a decision by NFTA. NFTA did eliminate some of the lines that serve Hamburg and other areas. And again, that was all determined based off of ridership. NFTA respect certainly to them reaching out. When the town put that information out on our social media page, NFTA was pretty quick to respond back that if someone in the community did want that service restored, to please give them a call and let them know. So we're trying to hit it from a couple different angles to try to bring back that service. It's really kind of ultimately it's your choice, but as I've heard the public that reach out to me,
We have
such
to
as
drive
yourself.
ridership clearly, or they're not gonna put a bus on.
Yes, exactly. So that's the situation with that FTA. But for the sewer system, that's a scenario with the sewer system. If you need any, you or someone you know has any interest in having the sewer build out, let me know. I can connect you with the Erie County Sewer District number 3. And then we're talking about the roads. I think, did I answer looks like I answered all your questions. Did I get everything?
That's all for now.
All right. All right, so moving along. I wish I could stop talking about this, but the world of COVID sadly is not going away. But anyway, if residents are interested, we have been going through roughly about a case of at-home COVID test kits. As the residents have been hearing me say, we do have them here at the town hall. The county did do a countywide mailer for locations all across Erie County. Boston is on that list, but if any residents are interested in COVID at-home test kits, please don't go to CVS and spend $10 or whatever they're charging these days. Please feel free to come into either the town clerk's office or my office. We just picked up 2 additional cases. We've actually been going through about a case a month. So again, I wish we could stop talking about it, but here we are. Same also goes for masks. We still have a few thousand masks on hand that we keep on hand for anyone who would like masks. You're certainly welcome to those. On that note, I've had a couple of phone calls. I forgot to bring it up. We do have the pharmaceutical and syringe drop box that was from the Erie County Sheriff's Office. That's in the lower level of the town hall. So anyone that may have, whether you're diabetic or you're cleaning out the medicine cabinet and you have it's cold and flu season upon us, but if you're cleaning up and you're looking for a safe way to get rid of those items versus putting them in the solid waste stream, please feel free to drop them off at the town hall. It's a safe way to dispose of those items. Some good news, the Boston Emergency Squad, they had applied for a fire grant in the amount of $110,000, and I received the phone call last week from Congressman Jacobs' office that has been awarded to the squad. That will provide the Boston Emergency Squad with 2 auto lifts units for both of their ambulances, which will keep them safe. And as far as the auto loader system, so they don't have to load up the gurneys or the gurneys. Yeah, it absolutely saves their backs, workers' comp, claims, however you want to slice and dice that. It's a big, big help for them. So I'm very happy they be awarded that funding. Outside of that, it's budget season, and as my fellow board members stated, we're going through the budget. Things are looking decent so far, all things considered, and we'll have more information on that in the next few meetings. And then that's all I have for tonight. So with that being said, I will make a motion to end the meeting at 8:23 p.m.
Second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Curtis.
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rutschek?
Yes.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.